I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hi. It looks like we're having technical difficulties. I just got a notification we're not on. Um, oh, yeah, you
Facebook.
guys, we're doing good. Hold on. Hold, please.
Old one.
I got to figure out where my volume is and adjust. I'm doing so good. You guys, I was not ready and I'm not grounded. But
We get to talk about alignment. It's really good.
you know what is so funny because I was uh literally just hopping on and you're like, "Do you have your water?" And I was like, "No." And I've been meaning to get water the last half an hour because I had been I now I'm keeping 2 by me. I don't run out and they both were empty and I was like, "Oh no." Okay, so hello. Can we try again?
Absolutely.
It's so funny. Yeah, and it's saying it's not connecting to our Facebook, so I
Uh,
don't know what's going on. Hopefully, if you guys are on Facebook, it'll end up connecting here in a second. I'm not sure what's happening. It might not at all. Um, I didn't get the notification until I hit go live and then it popped up. So would have been nice to know beforehand. Anyways, hi.
welcome to Wednesday.
I guess so. Here we are. Yeah, I love that our topic tonight is about spiritual practices for daily alignment. Um, you wouldn't think that we would make a huge difference, right? I am proof right now that it does because this
Yes.
morning, just the way that I woke up and how my night was, I didn't do my usual routine. And
Um,
my whole day has kind of been off kilter. And I thought, oh, interesting that this is taking place today when we're going to talk about it tonight. I love how the universe just provides for me. So, thank you. Thank you for educating me on life and the importance of things that are,
and our topic
yeah. So, here we are.
that are important for
Hi.
alignment.
Yeah. Hi, Natalie.
Hi, Jay.
And hello, Wanderers. Thank you for hanging in there with us. Tonight, we're just live on YouTube. For some reason, the connection isn't connecting the
Book of
with the Facebook. I'm not sure why. It it's just doing its thing. So, I can only do so much. Um we are going to be talking about spiritual practices for daily alignment and as always, we're going to get schooled.
Aren't we?
Here we go. Thanks everyone popping in. Um hopefully that all of our listeners find us over here. So, yeah, how's your week been? How are you?
I'm good. My week's been I went on a long road trip, which meant I was driving in the car for a long time, for 2 days.
Mhm.
And then spending time with family, which I'm really blessed. My family is lovely and we get along. But then I did find that I had to come back home and recharge a little bit just in my own space. And we're doing some generational work, I guess you could say, going through some of my grandmother's, my father's mother's belongings and looking at what's there to write about her. If we're going to write a little family or of her history or her story. And so I was doing that with my mom, and I find that that's deep. It's deeper work than just. It's not a surface project. It's not. It's not surface work to go through someone's personal belongings or their like if you just gather up everybody's someone when someone dies, gather up all their stuff, and then some of the stuff goes in a box to be processed at some point and disposed of or put to rest or something. So that's not just little work. That was. to I find that that takes something from me. I That's serious work to me. Not like too uber serious, but it's important to work. So, went through that and got to visit with my family and got to make friends with this pit bull, this big pit bull dog that looked super scary, but he was marshmallow on the inside. Oh, it's fun.
Love the soft and squishy. So good.
And then drive back and lots of hours in the car is very meditative for me. I find I could just drive and it puts me in a zone. And it's also not easy to be in the same seated position for hours. 11-hour drive is a long drive. But this beautiful country that we live around to drive there is beautiful. So I was grateful for the opportunity to go and see my sisters and my nieces and nephews and my mom. And I'm grateful that
Mhm.
she's still alive because not everyone has that. And I had a fun experience. So my father died 11 years ago, and my dad leaves me dimes, and I received 3 dimes from him on this trip.
Aw.
And the placing of it's shocking how our departed loved ones, my dad, can place a dime in the middle of the sidewalk or in the middle of the road right next to my driver's side door.
Yeah.
Thanks, dad.
It's just yeah. How can you make that stuff up?
And I'm grateful he doesn't leave pennies. You know, he leaves dimes.
The
Which
abundance.
yeah, and which probably would resonate with my father because during his days, you know, during a lot of his life, it was a phone call. A dime was a payphone call. So he's
Yeah.
calling from heaven.
Instead of a quarter?
Yeah.
Really?
Early on, it was a dime.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So,
The things we learn.
mhm.
I like the dimes. I found a
Yeah.
dime when we first moved to our new location, and I put it
Oh,
over here on my
that's
little
right.
yeah. Just remember that.
All the
Yeah.
signs.
So
Yeah.
good.
So how are you? How's your week been?
I don't have anything. I guess nothing was coming to mind. I'm just like, how have things been? I don't have an answer.
Well, I mean, you probably have an answer as far as utilization of your alignment techniques so that
Yeah.
you stay grounded and tuned in your own body.
We'll definitely be talking about that tonight. I am evidence. I am evidence of this experience that we'll be talking about tonight.
Yeah. It's interesting because even before I was having technical issues, I was like, why can't I hear? Why are my earbuds not working? Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. Whew, thankfully, I started in plenty of time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good stuff. I mean, we're learning all of the time. I hope we are. I hope you all
Oh,
are. I hope everything is a learning experience because, I mean, if not, then what are we doing? What are we here for? Like,
right.
honestly, this
Hmm.
is meant to be school for us. And um, I'm really grateful for the lessons, even these ones where I'm stumbling a little bit, but hey, I still showed up. So
Yes, and you're handling a lot over there.
it's all good. Hi, Wonders. It's so good to see you guys in the chat room. Thank you for being here with us tonight. So, as I said a couple of times now, and we're only 10 minutes into the show, tonight we're going to be talking about spiritual practices for daily alignment. We lovingly call this before you hustle, align, because I have that hustling mindset. I'm always like, what are we going to do today? Let's go.
Right.
Um, and that's not always a really healthy mindset. It can wreak havoc on you mentally, physically, emotionally. And I've really learned to take the pause And the best way to do that is first thing in the morning. And I know without a doubt, if I don't take me time in the morning, my whole day is just off kilter. It's out of whack. It's off balance. Today is proof of that. And it wasn't intentionally. I didn't wake up intentionally having it work that way, but sometimes things are out of your control and it just works the way that it works. Um, so we're going to talk about all the ways that the world teaches us to go immediately, get up and go, go, go. And we'll talk about that, but we'll also talk about how alignment asks us to first arrive, to first be here, to first be present in this moment.
Yeah.
So,
In the body.
yeah, the difference between reacting and moving consciously.
That's right.
So good. So, I know we've talked about this in the past and it was some time ago, but how do you start your day?
Coffee. Coffee, coffee.
But first,
Coffee.
coffee.
Coffee is my thing.
You drink coffee first thing, like
Oh yeah.
first things first? Oh,
Yes. So it was interesting because I lots of hours on the road I got to listen to a few human design lectures, and he was Ra who the founder was talking about the centers, and one of the lectures I was listening to was about you and the shadows. Um, and thank you, Genghis, for the compliment. Appreciate that. He was talking about people with undefined root centers, and I have an undefined root. And he said, people with undefined roots love coffee. It's so true. I Coffee doesn't give me the jitters. I don't have that adrenalized energy in my body naturally. So yeah, first thing, cup of coffee. And then maybe some water after. Through the day. Through the day I get water, but coffee first. And I just have always since I was in probably my junior or senior year in high school, I just started drinking coffee and I love it. And so that's one of the things is my cup of coffee. Sometimes I take some time just to before I jump out of bed and launch into like my day. I'll just stay there for a moment and just be in my body for a minute. I don't necessarily wake up but I do not like waking up to an alarm, and I'm so
mm,
grateful my life doesn't require that of me often because I haven't for a very long time had to wake up to an alarm. And I feel for the people that need to do that because of work and work schedules and things like that. I'm grateful. That's one thing that I stay that knocks me out of alignment because if I set an alarm, I don't sleep the same as if
mhm.
I don't have an alarm set.
I I agree with that.
So
I
it
do.
starts there. So when I get up in the morning, I just come into my body as I'm waking up and then um, get my cup of coffee. And if I get the opportunity, then I get to just relax and um, not launch quickly.
Mm.
How about you?
I just hit my ear and
Oh,
it
I
has a
saw
new
that.
piercing.
Oh,
It is pretty so bad. Ugh. Okay, how about me? I don't start my day first off with coffee. I used to,
you don't
but
have
I
that undefined routine.
yeah, but I've also learned that it's not healthy for my guts. Like that's not a good thing for me. I start my day off slowly. Starting my day off slowly is very important. I have an internal time clock, so I don't set an alarm. I just wake up at the same time every day, just naturally, whether I need to wake up or not. And then I decide, do I need to get up out of bed right now or can I herkle durkle? And I usually wake up way before I need to. So herkle durkle, of course. So while I'm laying in bed, I do some light stretching, get my lymphatic system moving. So I'll like point my toes, lift them up, point my toes, lift them up, lift my legs up in the air, let them drain into through my lymphatics. I give myself some mind and body connection. Sometimes I'll just literally roll off the bed and just start stretching or doing yoga or meditation on the floor next to my bed right away. Um, those things are really important for me. When I need to get up to support my partner, not need, but want to, I go and do all of that, send him on his way, and then I go back to doing that and starting my day that way because that the beginning is for him, then it goes back to me time. And so I think stretching is the biggest grounding experience that I have found through all the things that I've tried first thing in the morning. Like I used to just wake up and meditate, or I would get up and um, I even went through a phase where I got up and like just got right on YouTube and listened to like frequencies and like slowly woke myself up that way. But now I just sleep with that stuff on. So, every day is different, but I commit to waking up in a way that supports my body and my mind connection before I grab the phone or before I move on with my day. But I drink a warm glass of water with lemon in the morning, hydrate my body, and at that time, I literally, depending on the day, I really give myself a lot of time before I head to work. So that looks like a lot of different things. Sometimes I go right into my office and work if I feel inspired to do so, or I'll go create, or I'll go for a walk, or I'll get on my rowing machine, or whatever it is. I just do something that supports me because after I leave my house for the day, like my day, I just don't feel like is mine anymore
Mm.
because I'm giving to everyone else and doing all the other things. So it's my peaceful, quiet time. That's what I do for myself. That's how I align in the morning. Feel on my day, what's going on? What are we doing today? What am I committed to? What can I let go of? What can I push to on a later date? That sort of thing. So without stretching this out and making it longer than it needs to be, I flow in the morning. Now today where everything's off alignment and I'm like, it's because thank you, Ronald. Appreciate that. It's because the world called me out, right? Because that's what happens to us a lot of times. We wake up and we hit the ground running. Um, our If we haven't slept well, our nervous system is already wrecked. Then the amount of stress we feel of having to go to a commitment like a job or an appointment or things like that, things just start taking place really quickly. And I like to go through my day without rushing so I don't get irritable and overwhelmed because that for me is not being in alignment. And alignment for me feels like clarity and intention and steadiness. And so I like to stay in that frequency because that's what feels best for me. Um, but my whole life, I was conditioned get up and go, get up and go. The day's wasting. The sun is out. What are you doing? There's stuff to be done. There's things to do. There's places to go. And I just have always worked that way my whole entire life. And my body and my nervous system, especially, has paid the consequences for that. And I really like this era that I'm in now where I can just be like, you know what? No. Most days
It's not the way you're designed.
I don't go into work till 10 to 12. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I can go in when I want. I book my appointments later in the day. That's when most people want them anyway. So later nights, later mornings, and that's okay. Um, but I want you guys to ask yourself, how do you usually start your day? Like, how do you start your day, and how does that ripple into everything else you do for that day? Like, do you guys have routine? Do you have intention? Is every day different? How do you navigate your mornings so that you have a day that feels in alignment for you? Miss
Yeah.
Elaine.
No, it's not good.
Right. Well, we have this hustle culture.
We
We
do.
just do. And so I think the majority of us have had an experience where, the alarm clock goes off. We're not happy about it. We have to go to work. We go to a place that we don't want to be. If we're fortunate, we get to go somewhere we really love and enjoy. But still, waking up in the morning isn't always our favorite thing to do.
No, not always.
Yeah, I'm a morning person.
Me too. I usually wake up pleasant and ready to go, and my manifesting generator body is one that can usually get up and just start working, even if I have to.
Mm.
Usually have just about an hour if I'm working um, early that I have an hour, and an hour's about good for me. Um, uh, but it is nice on occasion when I have a little bit of time at home to align. But I do find that I don't. There's probably things that I could do more with my body, the stretching and things. It's not something that I have in my routine. I move
Use
my
it or
body.
lose it, Natalie.
I know I have someone reminding me, stretch and stuff, plus the cats. I have cats, and you watch a cat, that's what the cat gets up, and that's one of the first things they stretch
Mm.
forward, they stretch back, their whole
Yeah.
body stretch, and
Well, I'm not moving well if I'm not stretching first thing in the morning. That's just because of the way my body operates currently for the last several several years. Yeah, I think stretching is such an important thing to my day and just being mindful of how that's going to look, like how my day's going to look. It gives me an opportunity to connect to my body, and then it's waking up my mind at the same time, just like by navigating my body to move in ways that are more challenging than the day before, or routine is the day before. Either way, in the morning to move is a chore for me. So that's what I do.
for those that find that it's important to move our bodies.
Yeah. And you know what, you guys, you don't need an hour long routine in the mornings. It's just intentional movement. Move throughout your morning with intention and just by experimentation, if you have not already, see how it feels through the rest of your day. So, when I ask you, how do you start your day and how does it affect the rest of your day? Feel into that. And where could you maybe shift some things in your morning to make the rest of your day feel more in alignment? Because alignment doesn't just happen for us, you guys. It takes place over time and with intention. It's something that you practice.
Right, and if people find themselves not aligned, one thing that I notice if I'm not aligned, I'll bump into things. I've said this before, but I do find that my body isn't squared up. So
Mm,
if I'm not aligned, then I really do bump into my surroundings.
yeah. Let's talk about misalignment and the effects of misalignment. How does that show up for you?
So that's one of the ways. I don't necessarily concentrate well, so I don't find a focus easily. Is misalignment. I'll trip. Sometimes I'll trip. My s- I can feel in my gait whether that's steady or not.
Mm,
Um, my moods can be something. Um, I was thinking that I one thing I don't do that much anymore that I used to, which is tune into news like right
mm,
off in the morning in any fashion. I have not done that as much. And it's interesting to watch myself just no longer tune into a lot of different news. And I recall when I was doing that, definitely got on a thing during COVID, watching a lot of different things during that time, and just threw me off kilter.
yeah.
I don't that felt out of alignment to me too. I was overly concerned about things that didn't weren't actually within my sphere of influence. And if I find myself pulled in interests that aren't within that sphere of influence, then I feel misaligned as well. I don't have as
Mm,
much energy to give to the life that I have to attend to. Um, Misalignment also could be um, if I'm not finding energy for who I'm interacting with or what I'm encountering through my day to respond to.
Mhm.
Those are signals for me that either I haven't taken care of myself, given myself decompression time, probably haven't eaten well. I mean, there's even things about misalignment that if your digestion is off, and there's lots of ways to say that if we take in food that doesn't work well, then we're not our eliminations and different things like that get
Mm,
thrown off too. And that's another thing about aligning ourselves is what be watchful what you take into your body, food wise as well, because food can really knock us off kilter.
absolutely.
What about you?
Um,
Misalignment. What's your take on misalignment? What do you see
so
in your clients and things like that?
so misalignment affects me in many ways. Not only do I not feel grounded in my body, which just throws me off for the whole day, but being able to articulate or communicate well is affected. So then also my decision making, because all the mental stuff, I'm not making clear decisions from an aligned or peaceful space. Um, I feel like sometimes I'm even more emotional just because if I'm out of alignment, it's usually I'm tired or I haven't taken the time to connect to myself or my body. Um, I think a lot of times if I go through a long period of time of not being able to come into alignment, I go on like a default mode. So instead of living with intention, I'm just kind of like Groundhog Day. Like, here we go again.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Um, I think what I hear from my clients most is that they'll grab their phone first thing in the morning and just out of habit, they'll just pick up the phone to see the time or see if they missed any messages, check their emails, things like that. That stresses me out to do first thing in the morning because that just reminds me of all of the things that I have to get done, either for that day or coming up. So it just immediately begins my day with stress. Um, I know a lot of times my clients will talk about just at the end of their day, which we'll get to with spiritual practices here in a little bit. Um, they are still carrying yesterday's stress into today. And so
Mhm.
they're just carrying it day by day by day. And um, I think a lot of times people will just from, like, experience with my clients, as you referenced, that's a good way for me to look at it. I think a lot of time, they'll allow other people's stress and energy to dictate their internal state of being, and letting other people ruin their days or ruin their energy, if you will. I think that their environment that they live in or they choose to live in or participate in affect them highly. You have to understand, like, the people that come to Natalie and I are looking for guidance or ways to become healthier versions of themselves. And so they're having these real life experiences that we've had, we still have, like, we're not perfect. Um, but it's just even more so because you don't know until you know, and you don't know how to get out of your way until you're invited to um, use some tools or add some to your toolbox. And so if you don't choose your energy and the way that you align, your environment will choose it for you. So it's just really important for you to be mindful and aware of not only your energy, but the energy around you and how it's affecting you. But there's a lot of ways I can think of misalignment. Reactive energy instead of responsive energy for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. It
You
it
have a tiny
totally
short fuse. Just
yeah. And you know what's really cool is I didn't start my day off like I normally would today. Things just were the way that they are. But any given moment throughout your day, you guys, you can change the course of its direction. Just because it started out one way doesn't mean it has to end up that way or worse. Like any point you can pivot. You can decide this is not how I want to feel and give yourself a timeout and connect to your breath or do some meditation or some tapping or read a book or listen to a great song or a kitchen dance party or whatever it is to bring yourself back to yourself and start over again. So if you start out your day and it wasn't exactly in alignment with how you wanted to feel or what your intention was for that day, just redirect.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did try that a couple of times today. I did.
Fortunately, right?
I mean,
Because where would you have been otherwise?
yeah, I'm still here, you guys, and I do that all of the time. If things aren't working out, I just say, I need a timeout. I call it my adult timeout. And I'll go sit in my chair. And if that means I need to check out on some YouTube for a minute or read a book or just breathe or listen to music, I do that because when you go into your day at any point of it and you're just not vibing, then
Never
shift
had
it,
those
flip the script.
those days where you just like, I got up on the wrong side of the bed. That's
Very much so.
yeah,
And I think it's important. Go ahead.
I do. So since I work with people in their grief journey, they definitely are experiencing some misalignment in their life because of for their, for instance, their spouse dies or significant loss in a family. It changes the way that your life is going, especially if a spouse dies and you don't have someone there, and the typical ways that you refuel or that consistent pattern that was there for a long time isn't there. And so you have to learn a new normal. And that's just not over, that's not as simple as just taking a breath all the time. That's taking your breath for, a few years to come to a new alignment in that. So these there's varying degrees of how you're going to need to attend to aligning your life depending on what's going on in your life.
Mm,
And if there's been a significant loss or losses in your life, it's going to be a longer adjustment period to where you feel more aligned than you have been for a while. Because it definitely throws life off kilter. When someone dies, they leave a big old hole, and there's a long adjustment period for that. So you
yeah.
can take these tools and these things that we're talking about, and you're just going to have to stay at it for a while.
It is a practice. That's
Yeah.
why we say spiritual practices for daily
Mm,
alignment because it's a practice.
mhm.
It is a practice. It's amazing how that works.
It really is.
It's like the muscle we talk about. We've got to strengthen the muscle. We've just got to make it stronger in order to work for us and support us in the way that we need it to.
Yeah.
So, what are some daily practices for alignment that you would recommend to somebody um, as a coach?
So definitely me as a coach, I use the human design as a very specific alignment coming to into your definition. I was just talking to someone today and I said, so if you learn what in you is consistent and reliable, and that's in the language of human design, is what's defined in you. Where is it in your body that's trustworthy and reliable? And always aligning to that and noticing or paying attention and having an awareness of where you get pulled in ways that you're not designed to operate.
Mm,
That's my basic tool. That's the reason why I want to work with, when I work with clients, I'm looking at their body graph, I'm looking at the picture that I have of them and teaching them so that they are going back into what's consistent and reliable. Today I was working with a client and I said, when you drop into your body, notice when you're up in your mind and your mind is processing scenarios and you're thinking about a lot of things. And so many people have an undefined head and they think about so many things that just it doesn't have anything to do with them or their life. A lot of people don't realize the scenarios we run through our head don't have anything to do with us as individuals.
Mm,
They really aren't. They're scenarios that have been put out there by thinking patterns and stuff like that, and it doesn't necessarily mean. So I'm working with people, teaching them how to align to what's trustworthy and reliable within their form and do that over and over and over again and see how doing that changes your life. And you know how to make a decision for yourself. And thereby, if you learn that within your own self, you can look for that in other ways of other people and reinterpret situations that knock you out of alignment. Because let's say that one of the people I was talking to, she was talking about her daughter, and her daughter was um, talking about, so she was talking about her daughter and how her daughter is so different than her and reinterpreting those situations according to form and function um, versus just the way that we would process them in our mind. So having a framework like that, and a lot of coaches do that with people, um, is to say, okay, we're going to use this tool to um, to have a let's see how they use it. So we're gonna take this tool and we're gonna walk someone through this tool and we're gonna help them realign their life because most lives that are way out of alignment, there's so many things that are out of alignment. You have to use a framework to practice over 30 days or so to bring yourself back in. And if um, and understanding people don't work out the same way. But interpretation of life situations are so it's such a significant thing to interpret them in a healthy way. When you were
mm,
talking earlier, oh, I was remembering how different I was. I take myself back 20 or 30 years ago and realize that I was doing exactly that. I was carrying yesterday's situations at work or the previous and just carrying that every day with me. And I don't do that as much now. I leave so
mhm.
much. I'm just more in the now and not doing that. And I was happy to have that memory and the reflection on how much I don't do that now. It's just not in my life. It doesn't
Mhm.
happen anymore because I let go of those behavioral patterns, thinking patterns, retrained my brain. And retraining our brain is also another thing that helps us readjust our alignment, and then we stay on track.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good thing to bring up. The stories we tell in our mind, they can either align you or misalign you.
Mhm.
I was watching a little video this morning, and one of the it was a exchange between these two people, and one said, "People are just um, mean people," and the other guy said, "No, people aren't. That's not their nature, but it's what their perception of the world drives a particular behavior pattern. So the way you perceive the world, or the way that your parents perceive the world, and the way that we're brought up, like you were saying, you were brought up like, get up, you've got things to do, the sun is shining, you got to get up, you got to be productive, shaped you in a particular way, but it moved you away from the way that you were naturally designed to operate. Nobody
Absolutely.
understood that at the time. They were doing the best that they could, but our interpretation and perspective on the world sometimes just needs to have a shift. Shift of perspective, as they say, really is a miracle.
Absolutely.
So minding the stories we tell. And a lot of times people interpret other people's behavior. How often I've heard this. I know they meant to do it this way. This is their motivation. This is what they were thinking. Is how do you know what they're thinking? Did
Mhm.
you pass your mind reader's course with 100%?
Are you sure you know what you're talking about?
It's like, don't know about that.
Those are all really good points. And we forget the power of our mind. Like we can reprogram and redirect and let go of things just with the thought of doing so, right?
Yes.
Um, just so you guys know, if you're not paying attention, there is a poll for next week's show topic on the screen. If you want to go ahead and vote in the chat. And thank you for your participation. And Genghis is always bringing the music to the show. So, some of the what I can offer to that question, some daily practices. For me, I love to connect to my breath. Connecting to your breath and having breath awareness is so powerful. Breathing life into your body, especially right when you wake up. I really believe we go places at night, that our body
Mm.
rests and our soul still continues on and works in different realms or dimensions or whatever that looks like, with our awareness or not, with our human awareness or not. And so, with that being said, I don't know how our soul or our spirit navigates life, but as a human, our breath is super important. And if we're navigating our life at night, not having that deep breath awareness, I feel like it's a really beautiful and potentially highly spiritual practice that you can have, because the power of your breath, if you do breath work or deep breathing, you can you can reach heightened sense of awareness and intention, and it's just a beautiful way to start your day. When I do nervous system resets here, we always do some type of breath work. I'm not a breath work practitioner or facilitator, but I do my own, and I understand the power in it. And I wholeheartedly agree that's one of the most important things you could do. Another thing I would recommend would be grounding your nervous system. So, a lot of us are in fight or flight, and our nervous system is paying the consequence of our choices or the way we're living our life or the way we're navigating through life or whatever that looks like. And so there are a plethora of ways that you can ground and connect to your nervous system. And I feel like just doing a little bit of research and trial and error, finding what works best for you and your body. What's so funny?
Oh, I had a few memories going through. I was probably just listening to your nervous system and then thinking about how the nervous system gets overwhelmed.
Mhm.
Sometimes because we're not um, truly moving through our emotional expression, um, and avoiding conflicts that might need to happen.
Mhm.
Sometimes a problem sitting on the back burner that just probably needs a conversation about it or something like that.
Yeah, some
Or
clarity.
or um, sitting with your grief. I mean, I talk about grief so much because there's so much of it in a person's life that you don't realize. I've had several clients just say, "I didn't realize I had this grief from this." One client was talking about grief from a relationship that ended. He didn't realize he was carrying around with him.
Mm.
He had never fully processed the ending of that relationship in a way until it came up in these other ways and then organically resurfaced in itself, and he spent some time with it.
Ah, beautiful.
And I was also thinking about communing with trees and listening to nature, and do you ever realize how much nature talks? And I
Yeah.
was all going through, so I'm just smiling about that.
So good.
Yeah.
All of those are beautiful ways, definitely. I feel like the intentional check-in with yourself is so important. Like, what ask yourself, "How do I feel right now?" Or, "What do I need right now?" Or, "How do I want to feel right now?" And setting an energy intention, and then navigating your way towards that. Um, being calm and focused and open and grounded, all of those are beautiful ways to stay spiritually connected and move throughout your day with purpose and intention. And the body connection I already talked about. I think that's really important that we connect to our body in ways that help us feel supported and seen and loved by ourselves, first and foremost. And um, the stretching, I already said. I love putting my hand on my heart and just feeling my heartbeat and feeling my breath under my skin, in my lungs. I think it gives me an opportunity to come to the present moment and just be here now. And it is a beautiful spiritual practice that I've just always resonated with. And it might not be for everyone, but it definitely is for me. And I think I brought up the phone situation. So just like choosing not to consume media first thing in the morning, like don't turn on your TVs, don't turn on your phone. Um, it literally can be 5 minutes of your time at any given time to connect in these beautiful ways that we both have mentioned. Um, and alignment doesn't look the same for everyone. So maybe there are ways that you align that we haven't brought up. If you want to type them in the chat for others to see, maybe that might resonate with them. Um, but small rituals are really important to me that are practiced consistently. They become very powerful internal shifts, and they give you the ability to create strong, solid foundations. And I think that's really important. And especially as we age and we move into life differently, a lot of us, as we grow older, our lives become more quiet and peaceful. Our circles get smaller. The pull from the world gets less intense. And we're left with this time to really feel on things and think about things. And I think those times of all times are super important because they could literally make or break our um, emotional and psychological compass. They can really support us or take us down a really dark path. I see it with my clients, the older ones who their kids are gone, the grandbabies aren't around, their spouse has recently passed. They're just left in this space of what now? And if you're not building a relationship with yourself through different ways throughout your life, you're going to be left with a version of you that you don't even know that you're not familiar with. And I really feel like the spiritual practices, like the ones we've mentioned, or any others that you feel called to, can really alter the course of your reality. They can really shift things and expand beyond mornings, right? They can just go throughout your whole day and change things dramatically. But I love the micro resets throughout the day because,
Yes.
like I said, nothing's permanent.
Now, another one that I just remembered was if you take some time to look up in the sky,
Mm,
day or night, but night's a fun time to look up in the sky because there's
yeah.
quite an alignment to look out to that vastness of the stars and even to consider how far away that is or that I did find throughout my life that connecting to how um, small I am in the universe,
The whole
I can
big
draw
scheme of
some
things.
things, yes, often like just had me look at the troubles that I thought were so big in the whole scheme of things
Mm.
and reducing the size of the trouble. I wanna but another thing came up, like, I wanna talk for a minute about when we're around people that are not in alignment and how that's a no joke that can throw you off if your children or partners or spouses or coworkers or
Totally 100% yes.
and then you just find that you just get pulled by their off kilterness and that's hard because they're doing their thing. Now, we are in separate bodies, but interacting with people that we have no
Mhm.
control over in so many ways, depending on their age. But really, we don't have control over people at really any age. We do the best that we can. Sometimes letting them, like, really truly, like, realizing that they're going through something and maybe that they need to go through it. Maybe they need to go through it. Maybe they need to be upset. Maybe it's important to not overly try to pull someone from whatever it is that they've got to navigate through that might be a difficult situation for them, but let them figure it out. A
Yeah.
lot of times with trying to rescue someone doesn't really rescue them over the long run. And it's
Very true.
okay if someone is not okay for a little while.
Mhm.
There's something about humans, we do have the ability to survive a lot of things. It's your shirt today. People, we can do hard things.
Oh, yep. You can do hard things.
Yeah. And knowing that it's okay if someone's going through a hard thing, they can do it.
You
I
can do it.
I get a lot of experience, and a lot of times I take it for granted what I've picked up by facilitating support groups for such a long time. But
Mhm.
in a support group, you get the experience of looking around the circle of people going through hard things and realizing you don't have any ability to take a person's hard things away from them, but you have the ability to support and let them talk about what they're going through without trying to fix it all. And
Mhm.
then you connect and say, "Oh, they're going through a difficult thing, and I'm going through a difficult thing. And together we can support each other just while we're going through this period of our life." And that can be very good if people around you are having difficulties in their life. And it's often good to not to say it's all going to be wonderful and fine, but just say, you know, you have it in you to figure out how to get through that.
Mhm.
One, it feels good coming out of you. If you say that, it really does feel good to say something supportive
Yeah.
to another person. And somewhere in there, they can hear that they have some sort of support and feel
Yeah. So good.
it.
And it made me feel warm and fuzzy.
That's good juju, good vibes only.
Yes, all the good vibes.
Mhm.
Um, it's all so good. I
What's a do you have okay.
Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna ask what's something that's do you have an evening thing? A later day
Um,
thing?
that's a good question. It looks different every night, but I don't go to bed and just go to sleep. That's my decompression time. That's when I consume my media. Not right before I go to sleep necessarily, but I'll have a wind down where I'm like, okay, now I'll see what's been going on with the day because at that point in the day, there's nothing I can do about anything that I come across, right? So the stress isn't there. It's not going to keep me up at night because I've re reconditioned myself to allow myself to rest when I need to rest. And that stuff is going to be there when I wake up. So I don't need to stress about it. But I also don't watch stuff that stresses me out at night. That's when I get to enjoy my time. So I do like to watch shows. I like to watch YouTubes. I love the TikTok. My algorithm is good. I'm following a lot of really amazing, brilliant people, and so that's really nice for me. I do stretch again before bed. Sometimes I'll take a bath. I almost always take a bath at some point in the day. That's part of my grounding experiences I do for myself. Um, but I just like to, like, end the day softly as I started it. I really like, sometimes I'll drink a tea, sometimes I'll read a book. I just like to slowly, and then when I feel my body like winding down, then I turn everything off and go to sleep. Like my body knows when it's time. And that's different every night. Like I don't have a bedtime. I just listen to my body and it tells me. And it may be 6 o'clock at night. And it may be 1 o'clock in the morning. And it's okay because I trust that I always get the rest that I need. Yeah. I like end of night. I like the vibe of the evenings.
Mhm. I like
Yeah.
nighttime air and
Yeah.
how it's just different than the daytime.
Yeah. It is. It's different. And summer nights, I'll just unwind on the patio. That's just where I'm at. I'm just hanging out outside. Summer nights are the best. They're so good. I'm really grateful for them. But before we wrap, I just want to remind you guys that um, you don't need to rush into life every day. Like it's happening regardless if you're an active participant or not. So decide when you want to jump into it and give yourself the timeouts that you need and deserve for your best version of yourself. And it's not something you have to earn. I have my whole life, like I had to earn the the downtime or the stillness or be rewarded with, alignment or whatever that looks after I completed A, B, or C. Like give yourself permission to do it at any point in time. And those little moments throughout the day, um, where you just aren't feeling great and you want to have a plot twist, take the plot twist. Like, what would you change if you gave yourself 5 intentional minutes? Do that. If it feels better for you, do that. If you're currently out of alignment, what's one small shift that you can make? Like you can do these things at any given moment of your day. So just check in with yourself regularly. Allow it to become a practice that you do daily and see what changes for you energetically. It really can be a beautiful thing.
Oh, so true. I was filling into that, realizing that I can even step into that more, that energy that you were talking about of
Heck yeah.
allowing
Yeah.
shifts to be.
I'm going to be singing that the rest of the night, Genghis. Thank you very much. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up unless you have any final thoughts. Are
No,
we
I
good?
think we covered most of what this
Beautiful.
topic's about.
Okay, guys. Well, it looks like so far next week's emotional freedom will be the topic. We'll see what other votes come in throughout the week. If you have yet not voted, make sure you do. 1 for spiritual awakening, 2 for emotional freedom. Whew. So far, emotional freedom's in the lead.
Sounds like a good one.
Yeah, thanks for the votes, everyone. And I'll get this Facebook thing figured out. And we'll see you on both platforms next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. We enjoy your energy and your shares, and we appreciate your time. Thank you so, so much. We'll see you all next week.
Have a good one.